I want to tell you about Sandra. Sandra is 60 years old. She lives in Hamilton, Ontario. She worked as an office manager for 28 years. No pension, no inheritance, no windfall. Just a salary that peaked at around $72,000 and a disciplined approach to her TFSA and RRSP over 3 decades. She retired last year, not at 65, not at 63, at 59. When I tell people that, the first question is always the same. How? Because most Canadians assume that retiring before 65 is something that only happens to people with a defined benefit pension. The teachers, the government workers, the lucky ones. Sandra is not one of those people. She retired the way most Canadians actually can retire early, through the gap between what she earned and what she spent, multiplied by time, and then deployed through a specific strategy that most Canadians have never heard of. It is called the bridge strategy, and once you understand it, retiring at 60 starts to look a lot more achievable than you probably think. Here is the assumption most Canadians carry without ever examining it. Retiring at 60 means 5 years without CPP and OAS. And 5 years without government income feels like an enormous gap to most people. Enormous enough that they write off 60 entirely and aim for 65 by default. But here is what that assumption gets wrong. CPP does not start at 65. It starts whenever you tell it to start, as early as 60 or as late as 70. And OAS does not start at 65 because the government decided that is when you need it. It starts at 65 because that is the minimum age the program allows. The 5-year gap between 60 and 65 is real, but it is a gap that can be bridged. And for Canadians who have built meaningful TFSA and RRSP savings, the bridge is not only possible, it can actually be the smartest financial move you make in your life. Because the years between 60 and 65 come with something most people never think to use deliberately: a low income window. Here is what happens to your tax situation the moment you stop working. Your employment income disappears. CPP has not started. OAS has not started. Your taxable income drops dramatically, sometimes to near zero. In 2026, the federal basic personal amount is $15,705. The first $15,705 of income you earn in a year is federally tax-free. Above that, you pay 15% on the next $57,375. If you and your spouse both have $15,705 of income, that is $31,410 combined, that is federally tax-free. This window, the years between retirement and when CPP and OAS begin, is the most underused tax planning opportunity in Canadian personal finance. Sandra used it deliberately. In her first year of retirement at 59, she drew $40,000 from her RRSP. She paid approximately $3,600 in federal income tax on it, an effective rate of 9%. That same $40,000 sitting in her RRSP until age 71 would eventually be forced out as an RRIF withdrawal, stacked on top of CPP and OAS and potentially pushing her into the 26% bracket. She paid 9% instead of 26% on $40,000 in a single year. The after-tax proceeds went directly into her TFSA, where they will never be taxed again. This is the RRSP Meltdown strategy inside the low-income window. It is legal, it is available to every Canadian, and almost nobody does it. So here is the full strategy, the one Sandra used and the one that makes retiring at 60 genuinely achievable for a normal Canadian. Part 1. Bridge with TFSA first. Your TFSA withdrawals are completely invisible to CRA. They do not count as taxable income. They do not trigger OAS clawback. They do not affect GIS eligibility. They are pure tax-free income that nobody at the government can see or touch. In the early years of retirement, when every dollar of income affects your tax bracket, drawing from your TFSA first keeps your taxable income as low as possible. This protects your low-income window and maximizes the meltdown opportunity. Part 2. Melt the RRSP strategically. While your income is low, between ages 60 and 65, draw from your RRSP deliberately, not randomly, not because you need the money, but because the tax rate you pay today on these withdrawals is the lowest it will ever be. Fill up the bottom tax brackets intentionally. Move the after-tax proceeds into your TFSA. By the time CPP and OAS arrive and push your income up, your RRSP is smaller. Your mandatory RRIF withdrawals at 71 are smaller. Your total lifetime tax bill is dramatically smaller. Sandra estimates this strategy will save her approximately $80,000 to $100,000 in lifetime taxes compared to leaving her RRSP untouched until 71. Part 3. Defer CPP and OAS. This is the part most early retirees get wrong. They retire at 60 and immediately take CPP at 60 because they think they need the income. But taking CPP at 60 means a permanent 36% reduction versus taking it at 65. Sandra's CPP estimate at 65 was $880 a month. At 60, it would have been $563. The difference is $317 a month, $3,804 a year, every year for the rest of her life. By bridging with TFSA and strategic RRSP withdrawals from 60 to 65, she did not need to take CPP early. She took it at 65 and gets $317 more every single month than she would have if she had panicked and taken it at 60. That decision alone is worth over $75,000 in lifetime income, assuming she lives to 85. Quick pause. If this is exactly the kind of Canadian retirement strategy you have been looking for, real numbers, real strategy, no recycled American advice, hit subscribe. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every week. Hit subscribe and let's keep going. Now let me show you what you actually need to make this work. Most retirement planners use what is called a 3.5% withdrawal rate for a 30-year retirement. Slightly more conservative than the standard 4% because you are planning for a longer runway. At 3.5%, here is what different savings levels generate annually. $800,000 in savings, $28,000 a year. $1 million in savings, $35,000 a year. $1,200,000 in savings, $42,000 a year. $1,500,000 in savings, $52,500 a year. These numbers are before CPP and OAS. When CPP at 65 adds $880 a month and OAS adds $743 a month, that is an additional $1,623 a month, $19,476 a year. That arrives automatically for the rest of your life. So a Canadian with $1 million saved who retires at 60 has $35,000 from savings in bridge years. Then from 65, $35,000 plus $19,476 from CPP and OAS equals $54,476 a year. That is a comfortable Canadian retirement. Not lavish, but genuinely comfortable, especially if the mortgage is paid off. Sandra had $980,000 when she retired at 59. Her bridge years were funded by a combination of TFSA withdrawals and strategic RRSP meltdown at low tax rates. At 65, CPP and OAS land and her income picture stabilizes permanently. She is not wealthy in any dramatic sense. She just understood the strategy and executed it consistently for 28 years. There is one thing in every early retirement plan that gets overlooked. Every single time. And it is the thing that quietly derails people who thought they had the numbers figured out. Healthcare. Provincial health in Canada covers doctor visits and hospital stays. It does not cover prescriptions. It does not cover dental. It does not cover vision. It does not cover physiotherapy or other paramedical services. At 60 to 65, you lose your employer benefits, and the provincial plan does not fill the gap. A private supplemental health plan for a 60-year-old in Canada runs approximately $180 to $280 a month, depending on your province and the coverage level you choose. That is $2,160 to $3,360 a year that most early retirement spreadsheets do not include. Sandra budgeted for it. Most people do not until they are already retired and suddenly paying $250 a month out of pocket for medication and dental they had always taken for granted. Build it into your bridge budget before you retire, not after. If retiring at 60 is something you want to take seriously, not someday, but actually seriously, here is the one move that matters most right now. Find out your actual number. Not a rule of thumb, not a generic guideline from an American article. Your actual Canadian number. Log into My Service Canada account and pull your personal CPP estimate at 60, at 65, and at 70. Write those three numbers down. They are the foundation of everything else. Then open the Canadian Retirement Income Calculator on canada.ca. It is free, it is Canadian. It accounts for CPP OAS and your savings together. Run your own projection. Then find a fee-only financial planner, not a commission-based advisor, and pay for 2 hours of their time to stress test your bridge strategy before you make any decisions. The bridge strategy is powerful, but it requires sequencing TFSA, RRSP, CPP, and OAS in the right order for your specific situation. Your income, your province, your spouse's income, your health. 2 hours with the right planner can be worth tens of thousands of dollars in avoided tax and optimized timing. Sandra is 60. She woke up this morning without an alarm. She made coffee and sat in her backyard in Hamilton and watched the garden for a while. She did not get there through luck. She did not get there through a pension. She got there through 28 years of protecting the gap between what she earned and what she spent, and then deploying that gap through the bridge strategy in exactly the right sequence. The average retirement age in Canada is 65.4 years. Most Canadians will work until the government program starts paying them because they never ran the numbers on retiring earlier. Sandra ran the numbers at 45 when there was still time to do something about them. How old are you right now? And have you ever actually run your own retirement number? Drop your age and your honest answer in the comments. I am genuinely curious how many people watching this have done the math and how many are going to do it this week. If Loonie Lab is giving you the Canadian retirement strategy you have been looking for, hit subscribe. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. I will see you in the next one.